Okay, so uh, we already discussed about how to write result and discussion. So and then how to write your conclusion, and finally we start for writings. Okay, so and then for writing this one, okay, it is include the idea of how to self check your thesis. Okay, so we go for this slide first. Okay, tip for writing. So be concise. Okay, your conclusion should be concise, to the point, avoid unnecessary detail, clear and coherent. Ensure your conclusion is logically structured and easy to follow. So, and then reflective tone. Use a reflective tone to summarize and provide insight rather than introducing new information. And maintain consistency in terminology and style with the rest of your thesis. So here I think the one of the most important is please maintain consistency in terminology. So means it is good for you if you could have your special notes. So every time, or you please stick, if you use laptop or desktop, so please put it in your wallpaper on so on. For example, if you want to use PO as palm oil. Okay, so please only use PO as palm oil. Okay, so and then, so for example, in my case, in my research work, so we will use COF. So means COF mean coefficient of friction. Some in journal, sometimes it write as capital C, small O, and capital F. Certain journal they will write COF with all capital letters. So and then please choose one of them for your thesis, something like that. So you need to consistent have consistency in your thesis. Okay, so and then this is the idea about common mistake in conclusion writing. So one is mistake introducing new data, argument, and concept that were not covered in the main body of the thesis. Okay, this is quite common mistake in UTM student thesis. Why? Because normally student just think in just think themselves what to write in conclusion, and then sometimes he start to calculate new one. He calculate the average, for example, to put in the conclusion. So the idea of conclusion is you need to wrap up, you need to conclude all the findings that you get in result and discussion, not propose a new result actually. So means that the numbers in your conclusion and so on and so forth, it actually must be explained once in result and discussion. You cannot come out with a new ideas or new statement. Okay, the solution, stick to summarizing and synthesizing the information that already presented. So the conclusion should encapsulate your finding without introducing new elements. So repetition. Okay, simply repeating the introduction or finding section without providing deeper insight. So the idea is repeating. So that's why I propose to you, please list all the result that you write in your result and discussion, and try to categorize it. Depends on any keyword, depends on your work. So and then make conclusion based on that group. So this will prevent you to make repetition in your conclusion. Because sometimes when you write conclusion, so you want to relate friction with where, and suddenly in the next paragraph you also you make conclusion again about where, for example. Okay, something like that. So please try to arrange your result properly, so you could see what conclusion that you could get from your set of result. So and then the overgeneralization, making broad statements that are not supported by the data or overstating the implication of your finding. So this is the same idea. If you not distribute, or you not classify your result into certain groups, so maybe when you do your conclusion, so you maybe something you will conclude in general. So, or in overgeneralization for your finding. So, and then lack of synthesis, failing to connect the finding to the broader context or not synthesizing the information. So, what you could do is you draw connection between your findings and the existing literature, show how your research contribute to the broader field. So, I think you have idea about this one. Okay, so ignoring limitation, not acknowledging the limitation of your study. So be honest about the limitation, discuss how they might affect your result and interpretation, and suggest how future research could address them. So it is quite straightforward. So and then weak closing statement, so ending the conclusion on a weak note, such as a vogue statement or cliche. Okay, craft a strong closing statement that reinforces the significance of your research, and with a thought-provoking remark or a forward-looking statement about the future of research in your area. So I think this can be prevent if, as I said, if you could see the overall situation of your result by dividing them into their own category. And poor structure, having a conclusion that is disorganized or lack of logical flow. So this is a part of the idea of everything from your result is actually can must be explained or could be explained. Please make sure that you could explain all your result in a simple idea based on the theoretical of mechanical engineering. So and then neglecting practical implication, focusing only a theoretical implication and ignoring practical application. So this happen normally when you do your works based on science only. That's why I said please try to think from the engineering point of view. So if you have application, you have certain application for your works. So mean it is easy for you to focus on the theoretical of that one, and it is easy for you to say because it is practically can be done. So, being overly ambitious, suggesting that your study solve all related problems or has more significant than it warranted. So, this is sometimes in Viva, student want to show its novelty. You want to show his novelty, so student will say something that very, very ideally good. Okay, so it is okay for you to talk frankly, to talk based on your limitation, based on your real work. If your real work only solve the friction between two element, two surfaces, so mean just say about that. So please do not overclaim that your finding will help this and that, because that will show that your result is actually not portray the real situation. So and then lack of future research direction. So it's failed to suggest area for future research. So this is actually when you fail to show your research gap. So how to get this one? So that's why when you write your problem statement, you must have the idea of ideal condition. So and then you need to know what is the current condition. So and then you know what the problem for current condition. Okay, if you have all these three elements, so it is easy for you to suggest your future research. Why? Because for sure, if you could overcome the problem for the current research, so for sure this current research will move toward the ideal condition. So this is your research for your future research actually. So when the current research move forward to ideal condition, so means that you could sell that point in your presentation. Okay, so any comment about this one?
So please,
Yes, okay.
uh, can you explain a little bit in brief about the novelty? What the novelty is?
So novelty is quite for me it's broad. It's too many things that you could claim as your novelty in your research. So the first one, okay, the common idea is when you start to test new things. Test new thing. That is very simple idea. So for example, uh, in my research, so maybe Malaysia is we have a palm oil, so we test palm oil as new lubricant. So the idea to test palm oil as new lubricant is actually still a novelty right now. Okay, because for Americans, so they will not do palm oil. For European, they will not do palm oil. For African, might be the idea to use palm oil as industrial lubricant is not so intensive like what Malaysian do. Okay, so that is the idea. Try to test new things. So the second one you could have when you have a new method. Okay, maybe you want to test it by using this kind of machine and so on and so forth. This is your novelty and so on. So and then in result, for example, okay, so in result, maybe you could propose new graph or new chart. Okay, so there's also novelty in your research. So and then in result, for example, you could come with the mechanism. Maybe you could have the infographic on how certain things. Can you mute? Yeah, can you mute your mic? Okay. So, for example, in mechanism and so on, so you could draw an infographic and so on and so forth. That also is a part of your novelty. Something like that. There is actually a lot of things that you could get novelty in your works. And then finally, so the simple one to get your novelty in your research is by publish a paper. Because when you publish a paper, so means that you discuss something new that acknowledged by international committee, especially in the committee of your research. Because normally in high quality journal paper, for example for Q1 and Q2, they only take the latest idea of research to be published in their publication. So mean if you just repeating other people's work, so examiner or reviewer for that paper will say that, oh, this kind of research is actually being done 10 years ago. So many idea about this, and this publisher or this journal has no interest to publish your work, something like that. Okay, you will get sometimes you will get answer like that. Okay, because you are talking the same idea, the common idea that being discussed many years ago. Okay, maybe the keyword is a new things, but it is not only the only things done by you. Tidak semestinya perkara yang you are the first one. Not limit to the first work conduct in the world. Okay, if you propose new things, new point of view, maybe you are using the same things. You are using the same uh, oil, the same method, and so on and so forth. But the way you produce your result, the way you analyze your result, it might be something new that trigger other people's idea to move forward in research, also can be acknowledged as a novelty in your research. So any comment from student?
No, bro, but we can shorten it something new in your research, right?
What?
We can shorten the novelty. It is something new in your research, whether it's
Yeah.
graph or idea or mechanism.
Yes.
Okay, and in every part in my research, I have to have a novelty, or there is a certain part like in the methodology, for example, only.
So I think it depends. So normally a student will choose only one or two parts in their research to say as the novelty, because it is not so for me. So it is weird when you say that I have novelty in here, I have novelty in here, novelty in here. No, so you just choose the very wow element, the wow parts in your research to be expressed as your novelty. Normally, people will say about the result. So because the methodology maybe, but it is for me, according to my experience in UTM, maybe our equipment here is not so advanced, so it is a little bit difficult to say that. So we are using we propose a novel method to measure this and that. Okay, so that's why in UTM we push student to publish a paper here, because when you publish paper, so the knowledge is actually novelty in from overall point of view.
Okay, Prof. Thank you.
Okay, so okay, so okay, let me stop for a while. I want to change. I want to change a slide.